How would the US stock market affect Bitcoin? If you're interested in knowing more about this, please keep watching. Bybit is one of the best exchanges I've ever used. It provides great market depth, a smooth user experience, and an impeccable interface. By completing KYC and depositing $100, you will immediately receive a Bitcoin contract position worth $1,000. This is a very attractive offer. What are the steps? Click the link below. Complete the KYC process and deposit $100. Then, you will instantly receive the position. Unlike most promotions, you can claim it immediately. Whether you want to go long or short, it will set up the position for you. It's truly a fantastic and unprecedented offer. Deposit $100 and receive a Bitcoin futures contract worth $1,000. If the market moves in your favor by 10%, your capital will be doubled. You can withdraw the profit, then. Alright. Now, let's look at the US stock market. We haven't discussed it for a while, as our focus is mainly on Bitcoin. However, the US stock market can have an impact on Bitcoin, so it's worth occasionally checking it. Let's take a look. Currently, the price is at a crucial resistance level. As you can see from the chart, we have identified these key contact points. This level is truly significant. I believe it is the most important level we've encountered in over a year. It has been a key support and resistance level for over a year. Right? Support here and resistance here. Also, the two positions here, they are resistances. It's not surprising that the price is facing resistance here. It's not surprising at all, because we have seen multiple reversals at this level, making this line a highly effective S/or reversal roll. Now, let's look at the current market situation. If the price manages to hold above the support level, I would consider Bitcoin to be fairly stable. In fact, if Bitcoin wants to continue its upward movement and surpass $30,000, breaking through the US stock market's crucial level at around 4,160 is a must. Once this level is broken, Bitcoin will have a better chance of continuing its breakthrough above $30,000. Let's zoom in on the time frame a bit more. On the 4-hour chart, the current situation is not very favorable, although there has been an upward movement today. If we look at the previous rally and the current situation, we can notice the formation of a diamond top pattern. A diamond top pattern is typically a reversal structure that appears at the end of a trend. It suggests a potential trend reversal to the upside if it occurs at the end of a bearish trend. However, if this pattern appears at the end of a bullish trend, it often indicates a reversal to the downside. Okay, but there are no certainties. It is possible for the price to break through to the upside or continue as a continuation pattern. However, according to the theory, this pattern tends to indicate a higher probability of reversal. Next, we should pay attention to how the price behaves at the resistance level. Will it hold steadily, or will it indeed form a temporary top? As the theory suggests, the latter scenario is something we wouldn't prefer. Nevertheless, the diamond pattern we see here is quite well formed, I think, and it adheres closely to the theoretical description. As you can see, after the upward movement, the price started to fluctuate more significantly, and then the fluctuation decreased. After that, it's time to choose a direction, and this is the moment we should be most attentive to. Now, let's look at the US dollar index, DXY. We have previously reviewed this for you. Basically, there are two lines, a trend line and a price acceleration trend line, which is steeper. First, let's start with the trend line. Let's plot it from here. In situations like this, it's usually better to use a ray to identify the previous touch points effectively. Let's extend it to the current position. Okay? Where is the steeper trend line? To draw the steeper line, we should start from here. It becomes quite evident now. You can see that the previous touch points along this line are clear, right? These few points confirm the validity of this steeper trend line. Now, when the price breaks below this level, the US dollar index typically moves in the opposite direction of Bitcoin. This is actually quite understandable. The US dollar and Bitcoin are interchangeable assets. So, when Bitcoin rises, the US dollar tends to weaken relatively. Conversely, if the US dollar starts to strengthen, Bitcoin will generally move downward. As you can observe, during the previous bear market, Bitcoin was declining, along with other risk assets, while the DXY was continuously rising. Right? Of course, the most significant influence on the DXY comes from US policies. not technical analysis. It completely reflects the monetary policies of the United States. Since the price broke below, it's worth noting the timing of this event, which was on November 10th. On November 10th, do you remember what happened? It's all right if you don't recall. Personally, I have a vivid memory of that day. Where's November 10th on this chart? Let's plot it. On the chart. That's right. November 10th marked the FTX incident for Bitcoin. It was the FTX incident. During that time, Bitcoin almost reached its bottom. As you can see here, although this point is slightly lower, referring to it as the bottom is not an exaggeration. You'll notice that the bottoming out point of Bitcoin coincided with the breakdown of DXY. This reaffirms that when DXY weakens, Bitcoin tends to strengthen exactly from here. So now, from assessing DXY, we can estimate Bitcoin's trend and gain insights into the overall economy. Looking at the current price, it seems to be undergoing a bottoming process and gradually moving away from the bottom, showing signs of an upward movement. However, this situation isn't favorable for Bitcoin if it intends to continue its upward trend and even break the 30,000 level. In my opinion, DXY needs to break below $100. It's a must. In short, if Bitcoin wants to break through the 30,000 level, the DXY must break through 100. Furthermore, S&P 500 needs to break the 4,160 level. Speaking of DXY, how is it calculated? It's the US dollar, right? We always compare the US dollar to various currencies, such as the Japanese yen, for those in Japan, the new Taiwan dollar, for those in Taiwan, and the Chinese yuan for those in China. The US dollar is a standard measure of value. So, what do we use to gauge the US dollar? We actually use a basket of currencies, with each currency weighted accordingly. This basket includes major world currencies, such as the euro, which carries a significant weight when calculating the US dollar index, as well as the Japanese yen, Chinese yuan, and the other main currencies. By calculating the strength of the US dollar against this basket of currencies, we can determine its overall strength. The value of 100 serves as a baseline for comparison, and anything above 100 indicates relative strength. It's a benchmark for comparison. This position is indeed crucial, especially for the future movement of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wants to surpass 30,000, I reckon this 100 level must be broken through. Now, let's take another look at Bitcoin. It has recently experienced a small uptrend, and we can briefly discuss it. You'll notice that this current potential bullish wave has been quite turbulent. It's been turbulent after the initial rally. The first pullback retraced precisely to the 0.618 Fibonacci level. It was remarkably accurate. When the price retraced after a rally, it hit almost within $1 of the target. Following the retracement, the price continued to push higher. Well, some might say that the price will continue its upward movement, so it's still intact. But I don't consider this to be a very strong performance. If it were truly strong, the pullback would be weak and short. For example, if it drops to 0.38 or 0.236 and then continues to push higher, that would indicate a strong pullback. However, if the pullback retraces all the way to 0.618, and if there are more bullish waves to come, this can be considered the early stages of the uptrend. However, since the retracement went as far as the 0.618 level, I don't see it as a powerful performance. We need to continue observing the market to gain more insights. In my opinion, the presence of risk still remains, and the bullish trend is not guaranteed. Alright, thank you. You're welcome. To like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel. Turn on the little bell button to show me your greatest support. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.